Wembley Stadium, the climax of the season and a Premier League place at stake. But for the second successive year, the day would end in heartache for Leicester City players and fans alike. So near, yet so far. This video charts the 1992-93 season and the thrills and spills along the way. The season got underway with a visit of Luton Town, managed by former Leicester boss David Pleat.
These really are perfect conditions on the opening day of the season. A shot coming in that might well be a goal here for Luton. Campbell is the scorer. Luton taking the lead here. It was a well-built move. Thompson trying to get Leicester back into the game with this corner kick now. The big men are up for it, including Walsh. Steve Walsh heads firmly into the net, and Leicester have their first league goal of the campaign. A perfectly flighted corner kick, and Steve Walsh, so adept in these situations, towering above the defenders, thumps it into the net. We're 4 minutes into injury time. One last foray. Thompson, the corner kick. Up go the head. Smith's in there. It comes down for Whitlow. Mike Whitlow scores dramatically. 4 minutes into injury time. Leicester have pinched the points. Thompson's corner. Smith got up high, and when it came back to him, Whitlow didn't hesitate.
Today, if you look at it, I mean, David coming back to the football club, everyone's a little bit wound up about that. It's the start of the season, everybody expecting us to do well. Our players are a little bit tense and nervous, and to have won it with all those things going on around us is very pleasing.
3 well-earned points, and Leicester were off to an encouraging start. But with 3 local derbies on the horizon, points would be at a premium. No points from Wolves as Steve Bull netted the first in a 3-0 defeat. Trailing by a goal at Notts County, the Foxes grabbed a point. Phil G, the scorer, with a spectacular diving header. Local rivals and promotion favourites Derby were the next visitors to Filbert Street, and with only 1 point from the last 2 games, the fans demanded a victory.
It's a good run, an excellent run, and he's still going, and in the end Forsyth took it off him. Pembridge getting booed by the crowd for an earlier challenge, but there he is again, driving an excellent ball through, and Simpson's onto it. Still Simpson. It's a goal. Paul Simpson with an excellent finish.
Yeah, the Derby lads were arguing to the referee then. The ball went back to the goalkeeper off a Leicester player, and he picked it up.
Yes, we've seen a lot of confusion, and more at the back now as G hits the equaliser. Phil G found just enough space behind the Derby defence to volley home.
Well, the ball gets, again, it's a chance ball played up, and Phil G finds himself just got the edge on the defender, takes it well, and it all stemmed from the goalkeeper at the other end. But this is Phil G, he's found himself in the clear, no mistake, good goal, well taken.
Cambridge has made a lot of room with that throw. Williams, and in the end Ormonroyd got it away. Oh, some of the tackling's tasty, isn't it? Oldfield, a good ball forward, this is dangerous. Mills returns the favour to G. He's got Davison in support. But G's happy to go. Oh, my word, what a goal that was! Pick that one out. You'll go a long, long way to see a better goal than that.
Well, again, it was superb football before Phil G ever got it, and what a great shot. And really, Derby County have gone from what should have been 2 up themselves, and that is a superb goal. And it was great football by Leicester City.
Well, threatening signs for Leicester City, the way Derby have begun their second half. Simpson, good ball in, Middleton beaten to it, it's gone in.
I think it went in.
Simpson's goal.
I think you're right, Al. I think it went in directly. I don't think anybody got a touch to it. There'll be a few claiming it.
Kitson, one of them, straight away.
But it looked like Simpson. Yep, I think Muggleton made a Muggleton of it.
Whoops, a little use of an elbow then by Williams on Oldfield. No love lost between these two. And then a striving tackle, but Oldfield rode it well. And Leicester come away with the ball. G. Oh, great stuff by G. Completely fooled the young fullback there. Excellent. He's tried another long shot. That would have been some goal. That really would have been a brilliant hat-trick as it hit the foot of the post. Oldfield's kept it in. And I've got to feel desperately sorry for G. If ever a run and piece of skill deserved the goal, it was that. But here come Derby again. Simpson. Great defending by Welsh, but he took too much time. And we'll get to a replay, I'm sure, in a moment, but this game just won't stop. Davison's header. G's there again. And he'll hit them from anywhere tonight, and why not? But that earlier shot, Jimmy, quite spectacular.
Well, I was just saying under my breath, don't shoot from there, son. You've got no chance. And he really hits the ball beautifully. And you have to say, he was very unlucky not to get his hat-trick.
We're already into stoppage time here. So here's the free kick again, and the same thing, and Thompson hit it, it's in! They scored! That's got to be the winner! Into injury time! Leicester's goal, Derby's disappointment.
Well, it's a great shot by Thompson, and it's a super free kick. It's a great goal, but one has to say I'm not sure whether it was deserved.
No goals as yet, but it's been a hard competitive fixture. And Leicester seeking to win possession. The ball wrestled away up towards Bobby Davison, edge of the area, and Davison lets fly and scores his first goal for the club. Bobby Davison, the 50,000 signing from Leeds United, is on the score sheet here, taking it on the chest. It came back to him, and a thumping shot.
Those 2 home victories helped Leicester climb into 3rd place by the end of August. Charlton was setting the early pace, but the cluster of clubs below had them in their sights. With his first goal for Leicester under his belt, Bobby Davison was soon in striking form against Grimsby. He and Phil G helping themselves to 2 goals each in this 4-0 Anglo-Italian Cup victory. Alas, only 4,112 attended the match, the competition certainly not capturing the public's imagination. By cruising to this victory, expectations of qualifying for the competition's later stages would have been high, but certainly short-lived. Newcastle would prove much tougher opponents. Then Leicester had that losing feeling again. Phil G's goal merely a consolation in a 3-1 defeat at Southend. And preparations for the home fixture with Wolves were disrupted by a late injury to Carl Muggleton. Richard Holt stepped in and kept a clean sheet, but Leicester strike force were unable to make a breakthrough.
That's a terrific ball. And Whitlow's got there. Davison should have scored, really. But what a ball to open up the Wolves' defence. Ormonroyd finding Davison. G is with him. Good effort! Oh, what a tremendous effort that was! That would have been some spectacular goal, but the crossbar denies him. Brilliant effort by G from that range against the crossbar. There's Lewis again. Certainly looks confident in possession, but a little bit fortunate then to find Oldfield. Oldfield's left Bennett, and a great effort! These long-range shots from the Leicester players, so unlucky not to have found the target. That one hit the very foot of the post and deserved a goal.
Another goalless draw followed, this time at home to Brentford. Hardly ideal preparation for the Coca-Cola Cup second round.
Certainly good vocal encouragement for Leicester City. Trying to overcome Peterborough in this first leg game in the Coca-Cola Cup. And Thompson's ball in is a dangerous one, and Peterborough haven't coped with it convincingly as yet. Here comes Colin Hill forward, supplementing the attack. The ball up from Gary Mills. Still plenty of men up here for Leicester. Thompson, can he keep it in? He can do. The keeper's in trouble. There could be something here for Leicester. It's the first goal for David Lowe. Hill had started it from the back when Peterborough failed to get the ball away first time, and when Thompson pumps it back in there, Bennett's under pressure and Lowe is able to pounce. Hill short this time to Whitlow, who's got a good left peg and swings that one across towards the edge of the area. Well up for it here, and it must be a second goal for Thompson, and that makes it a much more emphatic scoreline now for Leicester City. Whitlow's ball up there, one in the air, and Thompson pounces. Thompson's so neat when he plays the ball on the outside of his boot there. Now Richard Smith, and he's picked his man Davison out. Here's Bobby Davison, edge of the area, and he's in! Bobby Davison scores a cracking goal for Leicester City. Copybook goal this one, and Davison, full of confidence, strokes it home. So here's the corner. Swung in towards the penalty spot, and plenty of... Oh, it's gone through! How did that one go through? David Lowe claiming a touch, virtually on the line. But a bad defensive goal to concede. The Watford defence all at sea here. The keeper stays on his line. Walsher came in for it, and Lowe just got a touch. Now there might be something on. Thompson powers onto this ball, and he's a good crosser. There's a lovely one in. Ormonroyd's header! Scores! Loops it over the top of the keeper, and Ian Ormonroyd has got his first of the season. A pinpoint cross from Thompson, and a precise header.
So towards the end of September, Leicester had found their goal-scoring boots. They were now in 5th spot, but were out of the Anglo-Italian Cup, having lost 4-0 at Newcastle. In Julian Joachim, they were about to unearth one of the major young talents of the First Division.
Oh, an Archdeacon. A few divots there been taken. Hoisting this one up then into the area, and Biggins scores for Barnsley. A deflected header. He just angled it across the keeper as he came in for it, and Wayne Biggins shows what a good scorer he is. One here for Davison to chase, and he's got the better of the defender. Taggart's coming to meet him now. So Davison holding things up sensibly. Whips that one across. Joachim's in there, and it's a goal, an equaliser for Leicester City. They're back in the hunt here through Simon Grayson. Barnsley always in trouble against the pace of Davison, and they were caught a little bit statuesque in defence as Grayson put it into the corner. As the rain comes down, Thompson supplies the corner kick. Ormonroyd's in there, Joachim's in there, Davison's in there, and Leicester take the lead for the first time in the game. 2-1 it is. Ormonroyd unsettled the defence. Joachim almost made it, Davison did.
About a quarter of the season gone. Reasonably happy with progress so far?
I think on the face of all the problems we've had, and we have had a lot of problems in our first 8-10 games, to be where we are, we're very happy.
Having made his debut and played a part in both goals against Barnsley, Joachim scored his first senior goal in the Cup at Peterborough. It was the clincher, Leicester winning 3-2 on aggregate. Next in the league, a visit to Birmingham, who themselves had made a tremendous start.
What can they make from this corner? Plenty of people up here, and it's perfectly executed. Bobby Davison's taking the credit. Lovely corner kick. Walsh is always up here, but Davison, prowling on the Birmingham goal line, gets the nod. They're so adept with corners, and Thompson will ping another one in here now. Up goes Walsh inevitably for it. Gets a touch. The danger's still here, as it's Oldfield swinging it back. Joachim, and Julian Joachim gets a second goal for Leicester City. Lovely strike from the youngster this, and Julian Joachim has his second goal in 2 games for Leicester.
Again, Leicester's form would dip. These certainly frustrating times for manager Brian Little. First, a Tony Philliskirk goal helped Peterborough to a 2-0 victory at Filbert Street. Then Leicester started scoring at the wrong end in a 2-1 defeat at Bristol City. But worse was to come. A 7-1 defeat at Sheffield Wednesday. And out of the Coca-Cola Cup, old boy Mark Bright scored 2. With confidence now very low indeed, Leicester would need to pick themselves up, and fast. Their next visitors at Filbert Street, league leaders Newcastle United, who would certainly do them no favours.
It's been a good start this by Leicester City. Gary Mills in possession for them. And the shot deflected away. It's a corner if it goes. And a corner it is. And the goalkeeper, Tommy Wright, so keen to keep the ball in play, he collided with a photographer. First corner of the game then to Leicester City. Steve Thompson will take it. Looking for Walsh and finding him. It's a goal! What a marvellous start! And Leicester City are in front with less than 3 minutes gone. Lowe the scorer. Clark trying to force it through to Kelly, but Hill gets it clear, only as far as O'Brien though. And that's a good ball for Kelly! Excellent save! Well, Lowe has justified his inclusion, and so has Kevin Poole with that great save from David Kelly. Good header by O'Brien, and an equally fine clearance from Hill. Howie, oh, that's a dangerous ball, and this time surely Davison has to score. He has! 15 minutes gone, it's Leicester 2, Newcastle United 0. Thompson gives it away this time. Sheedy on to Clark. Good covering work by Hill. Now Sheedy again. Good looking ball in for Kelly! So close to a goal on his old ground. Gary Mills for Leicester. They lead 2-0 here. And that's a good ball for G. More danger perhaps for Newcastle now as he looks for Davison. Well, for a moment, I think everyone thought that had gone in, but it was into the side netting. Kevin Scott. Brook again. Chipped on towards Peacock. That was a good looking ball. and the referee's given a foul by Smith on Peacock, and he was right to do so. "67 minutes completed at Filbert Street. Leicester are 2-0 in front, but they face now this Newcastle United free kick in a really dangerous position. And it's O'Brien. No, what a wonderful, wonderful goal that was. Well, you won't see many better free kicks than that. An absolute classic. Liam O'Brien with a thunderous shot has brought Newcastle back into the game. Goes in high to Ormonroyd. That's a dangerous ball flicked on, a marvellous save by Tommy Wright. He fingertipped that one away.
A superb battling performance and a well-deserved 3 points. Leicester had now stormed into third position, and in doing so inflicted only Newcastle's second league defeat of the season. But their form in early November took a nosedive, losing 2-0 away to Charlton Athletic, and then conceding this goal from Pat Nevin in a 1-0 defeat at home to Tranmere Rovers. Leicester now needed desperately a performance to tame the Roker roar.
Cut out there by Smith. Good challenge by Armstrong. Smith's in there again. Ormonroyd's layoff. And forward there. And Joachim might have a go here. He's turned again, Joachim. And he just wanted one turn too many there. Good runs from midfield. It's Joachim. Logged the keeper, it's in the back of the net, and Leicester have scored, and Joachim's pace has threatened that throughout the game.
Yeah, it's a great little ball over the top. They've been caught. David Oldfield makes a run initially, and Joachim latches onto it. The Sunderland defence is caught a bit square. Tony Norman's come out. I thought the ball wasn't going to carry into the net, but his pace has made him catch up with it and nod it in. Very disappointed for Sunderland after such a promising start.
That was all about his speed, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's got close enough to get the second touch there.
Really are working ferociously in the midfield, Sunderland. Just seem to have picked up that pace again. Here comes Atkinson. That's another free kick. Goodman, wasn't a bad knockdown, and Davenport, the equaliser, 1-1. Peter Davenport, what a smart goal, what a smart move.
Great goal. That was obviously a rehearsed free kick there. But I'll look through it in a minute. Terrific goal, and no more than Sunderland deserve at this stage of the game. See the square ball, Kevin Ball's obviously gone to the back post. Great little knockdown from Goodman. Davenport's latched onto it and smashed it into the top corner of the net with his right foot. Terrific goal.
Great jump there by Goodman, and Davenport, that's his third of the season, but this is John Kay pushing forward now for Sunderland. Hooked clear, only as far as Armstrong. Now Davenport, oh, hit the post. Davenport again, right across the face of the goal. And Atkinson, and Davenport, somebody has to put it in there, and finally it's Oldfield. What a remarkable escape for Leicester City. Davenport could so easily have had a second, and that really would have been a perfect start to this second half.
So unfortunate, that's twice of it to Woodward, Sunderland. As I said, he's picked the ball up in the midfield area there. Great little ball through for Davenport. He's made a good run. Just got a hand to it, the keeper, and he's touched it onto the post.
Ormonroyd and Gary Hours, good covering that from Hours. He's got the pace to get up and down. And he turned up there to help out at exactly the right moment.
Just as well he did. Leicester got that ball into the danger area a bit too easily for my liking there. And as I say, but for Gary Howe's intervention, they might have got a shot away from inside the box.
Android. Around there, Joachim. We scored a second goal for Julian Joachim. Benny Lawrence's instant comment next to me, I don't believe it. And once again, when they've looked so full of promise, Sunderland, they're behind again.
See, they've got good flick on from Ormondroyd there. It was difficult to deal with in the air, the knockdown, and then Joachim's been left unmarked where they've half pushed out, but he's not offside and he's not been marked as they're coming out. The full-back stayed on the post and put him onside. That's what's happened there, and he's able to just turn and knock it in.
Gibson, and Goodman picks it up. Goodman. There could be a chance on here. Over he goes. They've got a penalty. Cunnington pushed.
Lovely little link up there for that goal. Hopefully we'll see that in a minute. No doubt at all about that. Nice to see Cunnington break into the penalty area. That's his game. Here he comes. Don't see the rest of the build-up. Great touch, takes him across the defender, and down he goes. Great touch.
Gary Mills, the guilty man there. Who's going to take the penalty? It'll be Davenport. We've got one down at Peterborough for the penalty spot. He's already got one so far. So much can hang on this kick from Peter Davenport. Great save by Kevin Poole. Disaster for Davenport and for Sunderland. Here's Kevin Ball. Now could there be something on here? Oh, Kevin Poole pulls out. Really good save there. It was Cunnington who got round the back of the defence.
Well, got himself into a good position there again, Sean Cunnington, and he was just as he was falling there. He managed to get a strike in as he was falling off balance. He's done well to get any sort of a shot in, but Kevin Poole's handled it fairly easily.
Kevin Poole's penalty save had secured 3 points at Sunderland, and Leicester were to benefit from another penalty against Cambridge.
So a great opportunity for Steve Thompson to put Leicester ahead, and he takes it. Clinically placed by Steve Thompson. Cambridge looking for something here with Steve Claridge now. There seem to be Leicester shirts all over the place, but surely Cambridge are going to score. That's over the line from Claridge, and Cambridge have got it back to 1-1. Hill is the player on the ball. Thompson the one who might well strike it here, as he so often does, and it is indeed Thompson! Beautifully flighted. That could not have worked better. Oh, it worked a treat, did that, and Steve Thompson has his second of the game, one from a penalty, one from a free kick. It's bucketing down. Cambridge are looking for an equaliser. Here it comes, there's Heathcote! Mick Heathcote scores, 2-2 now.
Lee Philpott was signed from Cambridge United for £300,000 as Brian Little attempted to bolster his depleted squad. Philpott made his debut in a 1-0 home defeat against Bristol Rovers, but would prove a sound investment in the long term. So Leicester finished the month in an alarming 9th position, only 4 points taken out of a possible 15 during November. A sharp upturn in form was now required, and having already defeated Grimsby Town in the Anglo-Italian Cup, 3 points in the league were now a necessity.
Plenty of space down on this right-hand side, and there's a loop ball in towards Oldfield, and Oldfield scores! Wilmot pedestrian on his line, and Oldfield has punished him here. A good header, but really it shouldn't have got in there. Played back again by Lowe for Philpott. Oh, tricky work from Lee Philpott. And not a bad cross either. Joachim flicks it on, and it's away as far as Oldfield, and it's trickled in. David Oldfield gets a second for Leicester City. They stretch their lead, but poor defensive work again from Grimsby Town. The clearance wasn't strong enough, and it's punished by Oldfield. Grimsby desperate to find a way back into this one now. Tried Mike and Main so far without luck. Now Rees might tee up Groves, and Groves scores! Splendid strike from Paul Groves. There's a little bit of room here for David Lowe. Was he given so much freedom? And there's Ormondroyd, and he's exploited space too. A punishing header, and the points must surely now belong to Leicester City. It's 3-1 they lead.
3 points at Grimsby were soon followed by a point from a goalless draw at Oxford. Glenn Hoddle Swindon were the next opponents.
It's a good and attractive game, and the ball here inside that penalty area as Thompson tries to fly it back in. Oldfield header off the bar, in now. Same player, David Oldfield, scores. He deserved that. Well worked, Thompson. Oldfield with the first header was rather unlucky, but at least he was there to follow it in. Philpott plays these corner kicks in well. It's good flight on it again, and there must be another goal. David Lowe's there. 2-0 now for Leicester. Lowe right on the goal line. Philpott's corner was good. Smith had got up there, and Lowe from a couple of yards out fires it in. Well intercepted, and it allows Oldfield some space in midfield. And he loves running at defences, and he's played a brilliant ball through here towards Philpott. Bit of pushing there, inside the area maybe. Philpott, yes, it's in, but will that one count? I don't think so. No, Philpott had pushed the opponent. It was a super ball through to him to start with from Oldfield, but unquestionably there was a foul committed. Smith driving that ball rather aimlessly upfield. Well, that's given away in a dangerous position as well. And this might give Walsh a chance to feed it into Joachim. Joachim scores! Beautifully taken. But that all stemmed from a mistake in the Swindon defence when the ball was played out. It enabled Steve Walsh to put it into the space, and Joachim was there. Been a backs to the wall exercise for Swindon, but they're looking for something through Steve White themselves here now. And there's a cracking shot off the bar. Hoddle chips it back in. Still the danger here, and it's going to get bundled over the line now. A free kick awarded against White. So Swindon have had nil rewards so far in this game. White has looked quite dangerous since he came on. And that's good work, and Maskill pushes it back in here. Mickey Hazard scores with the left foot, and Swindon get one back. Terrific volley from Hazard. Joachim, fleet of foot and strong as well. Loses out to Ling there. And it's played forward again by Thompson into space. Oldfield's away down the right. Support arriving in the middle. It's just beyond Walsh. Philpott off the line again, and Swindon really living precariously. Thompson flights it back in. Walsh now. Lowe again. Yes. Another for David Lowe. 2 for him now, and Leicester have surely sealed the points, much to the delight of their fans. Thompson's ball. Walsh had got up there to knock the ball down, and Lowe at the second attempt beats the keeper. Ling firing it long over the top of the defence. And Paul Bodin here for Swindon, trying to get a second for them maybe, and Craig Maskill has done just that. But it only makes it a more respectable scoreline. It's a second goal. Thompson, one of the most accurate long passers in the division, and he's picked out Ormonroyd here. Plenty of space for Ormonroyd and for Oldfield. But this time, the keeper manages to get his grasp on it. Ling has taken it on for Swindon, and he's got some ground to make up as well. Confronted by the defender, manages to roll it in field, and this is a more promising attack from Swindon Town, and Ling's got it back again. He'll swing it across towards the penalty spot. Good header, good save too by Kevin Poole, the saviour of Leicester that time.
Such a great game today, and they're a quality side, and everything they do is good for football, and we've matched them today, which is pleasing, because we've been a little bit in and out so far this season. It's nice to play well, it's nice to win a game, and it was good. We found ourselves in the dugout applauding things that our opposition were doing today, so that says it was a good game.
Another quality side, Millwall, provide a tough test, but this time Brian Little would not be applauding the result. Jamie Morley scoring in Millwall's 2-0 victory. Not the best way to end the year. So Leicester had climbed to 6th. Newcastle having opened up a commanding lead, the fight was on for the one remaining automatic promotion place. So what would 1993 hold for the Foxes? First, a trip to lowly Brentford.
Leicester looking to take the lead. That was Ormonroyd. This is Philpott. A sweet cross from him and a sweet header from Steve Walsh. His second goal of the season, but his first since the opening day. But Walsh, a firm header here, deposited into the Brentford net. Oldfield, oh, that was a lazy ball, and it's given Brentford a chance. Joe Allen, edge of the Leicester City penalty area. The ball holds up, and Blissett smacks it home. Gary Blissett with the equaliser for Brentford. Philpott's there, and Thompson's there as well, and it's Thompson, and he struck it beautifully into the corner, and Leicester regained the initiative. Steve Thompson with a terrific strike. 2-1 now. They've scored from one free kick, and here's Philpott, and here's Thompson, and Thompson's found a way through again. Well, quite astonishing. Steve Thompson with his second, Leicester's third, and surely it's in the bag now for Leicester City.
Although Leicester's FA Cup involvement was relatively short-lived, the third-round tie with Barnsley was certainly action-packed. When Neil Redfern put the Tykes 2-0 up at Filbert Street, Leicester looked down and out. But don't write off Brian Little's men. The fight back begins in the 66th minute. Fleming's challenge on the jinking Joachim persuading referee Michael Peck to point to the spot. And from here, Thompson makes no mistake. Barnsley are still in the driving seat, of course, but Leicester are not finished yet. 12 minutes later, some precise and positive approach work sets up this half chance for David Oldfield. The angle is acute, but the power of Oldfield's drive is too much for Butler. 2-2, enough to send the home fans wild and set up a thrilling replay at Oakwell.
Leicester looking good in these early stages, and here's Joachim testing his pace, and the ball in, and Philpott's there. Philpott scores for Leicester with the right foot. He doesn't get many with the right, but Philpott was here when it mattered for Leicester. The break by Joachim has got blistering pace, and Philpott comes in, swings the boot, the ball's tucked nicely into the corner. Here's Thompson's free kick for Leicester then, and up go the heads, and Walsh is in there. Steve Walsh once more for Leicester City. He nearly always scores with the head, and Watford getting caught cold at the set piece. Lovely free kick again from Thompson. Walsh climbing high and paying dividends. Thompson, again he's floated one in, and again it's ended in the net, and this time it's David Lowe that gets the glory. 4 minutes before the break, Leicester lead 3-0, and 2 of those goals have come from beautiful Steve Thompson free kicks. Watford have conceded so many goals this season, they're capable of getting them, but here's Hill, who's surely looking for support and not getting any, and they are punished, and rightly so, by Solomon. 3-1. Free kick for Watford. Still plenty of bodies around in the Leicester City penalty area. They might get a second here. The ball is cut back, and there's Nogan, and it's 3-2 now. And I wonder, is there a way back for Watford? Well, we've had 5 goals, plenty of incidents in this game, and surely plenty to come as well. Dreadful miss kick, oh, and then a giveaway, and Joachim will surely make them pay the penalty for that. What a stupid goal for Watford to concede. That was an absolute gift for the teenager Julian Joachim. But he takes it calmly, doesn't he? 4-2, what a good night for Leicester City. We're in the last minute now as Philpott drives forward again. Let's fly! It's 5-2. And Lee Philpott rounds off a remarkable night for Leicester City. 5-2 the scoreline, and Philpott gets his second. Terrific strike.
Striker Steve Walsh, is that the way we're going to see it for the rest of the season?
I don't know about that. It's up to the manager at the minute, but I'm just glad that things are going well and that we've won again. Obviously, I've got to do the best I can playing up front, and that's all I've done really.
Played by Walsh. Robinson couldn't quite gather it. Thompson did. This is Joachim leading the breakout now for Leicester, and there are plenty in it. He's got Mills steaming over his shoulder. Uses him as the decoy. Goes alone. That's just a brilliant goal by Julian Joachim. 18 years of age and the world at his feet. There's a real buzz around Filbert Street every time this young man picks the ball up. He's only been on the scene since the start of October, and that's why they're so excited about him. It looks like he'll be off to the World Youth Championships in Australia in March with the England team, and that will be Leicester City's loss. Really has been an excellent contest in view of the overhead conditions. Archdeacon got hold of that, didn't he? Is that a good equaliser, or is that a good equaliser? Last minute, last throw of the dice. Owen Archdeacon has matched Julian Joachim's first half effort for Leicester. Great strike.
That last-minute goal forced the game into extra time. Then a thrilling penalty shootout, which Barnsley won 5-4. Leicester's efforts would now focus on promotion to the Premier League, but lowly Notts County proved no pushovers at Filbert Street, and although they carved out plenty of scoring opportunities, Leicester's only goal came from the boot of Julian Joachim. The Foxes would have their work cut out in their next test, home to promotion rivals West Ham United.
Such an important game between two sides who will surely figure in the promotion playoffs if they don't go up automatically. And here is low for Leicester. Here is Oldfield. Thompson has picked it up. They always make plenty of men available, Leicester up front, and there is Walsh nodding it through for Lowe. What a super strike from David Lowe. And that move involved half the Leicester team. There was a mistake in defence, and it turned out to be a calamitous one as well. Good skill. There's so much pace on this field today. And West Ham almost queuing up, and Robson gets another chance, and it's gone in. West Ham, it's their turn to look for a winning goal maybe, and they've got it. It's Tony Gale. Good goal from Gale, the defender. 2-1 now.
You know, we can get a lot of credit out of it. Our lads have worked hard, at times played some good football. But we're very disappointed to have lost it, but you know, we can go on from here and still chase up that second or first spot, probably the second spot. But in fairness, you know, I mean, the top six seems to be the more of the ideal targets for us, I think.
Leicester were in the top six, but only just. Automatic promotion now seemed unlikely. February was not to be a happy month, and their league form soon started to stutter. 3 away games on the bounce produced only 1 point. David Pleat's Luton avenged their opening day of the season defeat, Leicester going down 2-0, Marvin Johnson scoring one of the goals. Next stop, Pratton Park. Lee Philpott's last gasp effort earning a much-needed point. Surely Leicester could expect more from a trip to the baseball ground, where Derby's form had been atrocious. Sadly not. Marco Gabardini scoring in yet another 2-0 defeat. Leicester must have been relieved to get back to Filbert Street, Birmingham City the visitors, and the weather conditions tricky.
Away goes Thompson in the blizzard. And then the clearance is good enough. Really awful conditions for the players to take part in such an important game, and this is an important one. And here are Leicester forward now, and here's a shot which is flicked over the top by Thomas. No shortage of confidence there from Gary Mills. What a good strike this one is. It's as clean as a whistle. And here we see it again from behind. Did the keeper get a touch? Well, conditions improving all the time, and even the sun coming out now as Mills takes it on again, edge of the area. Lovely ball in, here comes Walsh, a goal! And Steve Walsh continues to prosper in his new role. He's so good in the air, he times his run to perfection, and when Mills floats this one across the heart of the Birmingham defence, Walsh with a deliberate header puts it home. Terrific cross from Mills, and a super header on the run from Walsh. He's supposed to be a defender. Now, Birmingham looking for something back in this scrap at the corner. Matthewson forces it into the net, and Birmingham are level from a Trevor Matthewson goal. Edge of the area, couldn't force it through that time. Big John Gale might get something from it, however. And Birmingham, they're very neat around the penalty area. That's a tremendous stop, however. Excellent save. Gale's there again, Agnew's there for Leicester City. And there's a stumble, and Walsh might have got Lowe in here for Leicester. 2-1, David Lowe. But awful mistakes in the Birmingham defence to present Lowe with his opportunity. The ball really was given away. Walsh got the tackle in, it ricocheted into Lowe's path, and he said thanks a lot.
By this time, Leicester had slipped out of the playoff positions. Little did they know that the victory against Birmingham would prove to be the platform for a winning sequence that was to stretch to the end of March. It all started at Barnsley.
Well, what a marvellous day for the opening of Barnsley's new stand. And here they come on attack with Robinson, looking for the early goal. Good ball into the area. Here's Rammell, and they've got their early goal too. Andy Rammell, and that's pleased the local fans. Philpott with that free kick, and it's an equaliser from, of all people, Gary Coatsworth, who used to play for Barnsley. His first ever league goal for the club, and Leicester are level. Robinson just gets the knock on. That dominant figure of Coatsworth is there, and the challenge has freed Walsh up the middle. Can Steve Walsh round it off? He can! Through the keeper's legs, and Steve Walsh puts Leicester in front. What a good finish this is for a centre-half turned striker. He showed terrific composure here in driving the ball between the keeper's legs. Throws well delivered, and Biggins had come to meet it, and there's Biggins, and there's Rammell too. Andy Rammell's got a second for Barnsley, and this game is becoming a real cracker. Headed away by Smith to Coatsworth, inside the first man, and he goes. The Oldfield out there, and then Lowe's ball finds Coatsworth here, inside the area, and Gary Coatsworth's got another one. Total joy for the former Barnsley player. He's ruining the home side's day. He'd not scored for Leicester before today, and now he's got two in the space of 90 minutes. Oldfield hugging this touchline and finding Lowe. Coatsworth again. A stumbling challenge. Has some space now, and Oldfield smacks that one across. Here comes Walsh, in off the post, and Steve Walsh takes the credit. This remarkable story just keeps on going, because Steve Walsh, the centre-back who's been moved up front as an emergency measure really by Brian Little, just can't stop scoring goals at the moment. That's a terrific effort. Goodman has got the better of Smith, and he's been allowed to continue here, and Don Goodman will do just that. And he'll have the shot, and he'll score the goal, and that's as good a striker's goal as you will see. Gibson linking up from full-back with Philpott. Philpott, who might measure a cross in here. On the right foot, it's a short ball, stabbed away, not very far. Thompson off the upright. Oldfield couldn't get to it. And what's happening here? Well, Thompson thumped it in. That's a splendid save by Norman. The corner will be taken by ours. Well, there'll be plenty of people up here. It's going to come down here for Armstrong. He'll have a go. Oh, he scores too. What a great effort from Gordon Armstrong. Doesn't get as many goals as he should, but that could not have been better hit. It's been a vibrant encounter so far. Some terrific football, and it's low for Leicester now. Low! Yes! Another one! Well, what an amazing game this is. And David Lowe has rifled in the shot to get another goal here for Leicester City. Splendidly done. Philpott with the corner kick. Headed firmly out. Philpott, he's been a very useful acquisition from Cambridge. Thompson now, his cross ball in. There might be a chance for Walsh. Terrific shot from Steve Walsh. His second of the match. Leicester's third. They're back in the lead. Thompson has picked him out. What a terrific effort. A slashing shot across the face of Norman.
We've got to keep in there and just keep plugging away, and hopefully if we can string a few more wins together, it's going to give us a good chance near the end of the season.
We have an opportunity this coming weekend to climb back into the top six, and that's very welcome, because, as I say, a week or so ago we weren't quite sure whether that was possible, but 3 good results, and it's opened up again for us, but we haven't cracked it yet. We realise that we're capable of winning football matches, but on the other hand, if we don't assert ourselves the way we have, and we haven't been if we're not as committed as we have been over the last few games, then it could change again. So we're all aware of what has to be done.
These are two teams who've been involved in the promotion issue right through the season. They look like continuing to be so. Walsh has got a chance, and he's got a second and taken it. Steve Walsh scores for Leicester City. He unsettled the defender Vickers to start with, and although Nixon kept out the first effort, there was no stopping the second. Good ball in. Fall for little Johnny Morrissey. Cross from him, not bad. It's come back to Morrissey as well, trying to create some space, and gets the shot in, and he created enough space for an equaliser. Johnny Morrissey. Thomas. Coyne was involved, and here's Thomas, and a ball over that Malkin couldn't miss with. Chris Malkin equalises for Tranmere Rovers. Coatsworth. That's good hustling in the Tranmere side. But Oldfield's won it back again for Leicester City. Now, plenty of options here. This is a tremendous piece of work, and now Thompson will hit the shot in. It took a deflection. Completely wrong-footed and fooled Nixon. Steve Thompson restores Leicester's lead. There's the shot, and it actually went in off Nixon's boot. Richard Smith can throw them very, very long. So watch for this one. There it is, almost like a missile coming into the area and causing problems. And Lowe has got another for Leicester, and that's going to be good enough for them, I'm sure now. David Lowe, no more than a yard away from the Tranmere goal line, just beats Nixon to it. Thompson gives the signal, and they'll all know what it means. They'll be looking for Walsh, surely. There is Walsh, just couldn't get to it himself. But Oldfield to retrieve the situation. Laying it back for Coates with good-looking ball in from him. Inevitably, it's Steve Walsh, yet again for Leicester City. The goals just keep on coming for Steve Walsh in his new role as a striker, and he climbed so high, there was no stopping him. Smith with this throw in. Right up towards the near post. Walsh looking for it. I think it's gone enough. Groves actually, Lowe taking the claim. I don't think he got a touch. And when we see the replay, yes, it went in off the head of Groves. 2-0. Walsh and the centre-back Roger were there together. And Walsh is here again. He's working so hard, and he releases Lowe down the left-hand channel. The ball is cut across for Oldfield. That's 3. Leicester are home and dry now. It's another impressive performance. Walsh and Oldfield at the heart of it. Lowe with the final ball in. Grimsby totally confused. They'd been pulled apart, and Oldfield made it 3.
5 wins on the trot. Best run you've put together for a long time. The confidence must be very high at the moment.
Well, if your confidence isn't high after 5 wins, then there's something wrong with you. And you know, we've been hoping for this sort of run all season. It hasn't come until recently, and it's a nice feeling. You know, we had a run like this at the end of last season, and hopefully we can keep it going.
They are such an enterprising side on attack, and here is Joachim really tantalising the Cambridge defence, getting that ball across. Well, would you believe it? It's gone straight in. Julian Joachim, I'm sure he can't possibly claim that that's what he was intending, but it's gone right over the keeper into the far corner. Oh, that's a dreadful challenge, and Coatesworth has conceded the penalty. Kimball for Cambridge, 1-1. Space inside that penalty area. Walsh, and it's belted across, and it's gone in somehow, and it's David Lowe's header. Well, fortune seems to be favouring Leicester at the moment. Oh, that's not a good pass back, and the keeper is in all sorts of trouble, and it's as simple as you like for David Lowe. 2 for him, 3 for Leicester City now. They have the points for the taking. An awful goalkeeping mistake. We've seen so many this season. Well, Lowe couldn't get out of the way. In the end, he didn't mind.
What an amazing run. 6 wins out of 6, which produced 17 goals. It was no surprise that the fans were in buoyant mood and greeted the Charlton fixture with an air of optimism.
I can't see us getting to the top 2 as yet, but I think we'll get us in the playoffs again, and we should go down. This time we shall win. Because last time we were very unlucky. Very unlucky not to win. I think the luck's with us this time.
Because of Speedy,
yeah.
We was unlucky.
Well, I think we were just a good team, playing well, on a good roll at the moment. Let's hope it continues, and we see a good result today.
Good conditions here, as Philpott couldn't quite get to it. So here goes Alex Dyer for Charlton, and a splendid winning tackle by Thompson. Releases Joachim. And we all know what he can do on the ball. He's so comfortable on it. Takes it back from Walsh. Surrounded by red shirts, but still works it away to David Lowe. Lowe's cross ball in. Looking for Walsh or Philpott. And then it'll fall here for Gary Mills. But the goal belongs to Joachim. Julian Joachim doesn't get many with his head. Walsh should try to win it. So had Philpott. And then when it's played across again here, Joachim stretches those neck muscles and scores. Played in field by Walsh, and then that's Nelson who was turning on it. There's the header from Leeburn, and Muggleton a spectacular stop. Nelson, edge of the area. Oh, that's good play. Charlton might get an equaliser here. No, Garland denied by Muggleton again. Forward that time from Mills to Philpott. Just loves to trick the defenders, and he's got Mills up there with him. This time the throw-in conceded by Bacon. Leicester looking to add to that one goal that Joachim has scored for them. Philpott's ball in. It's Walsh once more. Steve Walsh getting in front of goalkeeper Salmon. And Leicester City go further in front through the head of Steve Walsh. There's the ball over from Colin Walsh. Good looking ball it was too. And there might be, oh no, Muggleton's on top form today. Lieben thought he'd scored then. Thompson is such a key player for Leicester City in the midfield, and that's Coatsworth's ball for Joachim, who just, well, he went inside Dyer as though he didn't exist. Low. Laid back for Thompson again. Philpott's onside. There are men in the middle. If the cross is good, Charlton are really struggling. Steve Walsh can do no wrong. He gets so high. He climbed above the entire Charlton defence there, and the header was a formality. It's an absolutely inspired move by Brian Little to push Walsh forward into the attacking role. Charlton 3 down, still looking for something, and Alex Dyer gives them it. It's a consolation no more though.
Yeah, very pleased. Obviously we made hard work with it in the end, but 3 points keeps us in there, you know, get up for the top 6 and run away with it now, and looking towards the next game.
And 8 goals in 7 games, that's got to get you in England squad, doesn't it?
I don't know about that, but very pleased, like, you know, all the, yeah.
Great support as well today.
Oh, very good, always is towards the end of the season, you know. Support has been very good to us, so I hope they can keep it up to the end of the season.
7 wins out of 7, 6 in the month of March. Brian Little, the quiet man of football, thoroughly deserving his reward as Barclays Bank Manager of the Month. A solid 18 points in the month of March, but Leicester was still only in 6th spot. The main consolation being that they had now opened up a 6-point lead over 7th place Tranmere. And the next game was at home to Oxford United.
The points so vital for both these sides, but for different reasons. Leicester looking to go into the Premier League, and here's Philpott looking to go forward for them inside that area. Walsh just gets the knock on. Good work this from Leicester, and good smothering defensive play by Oxford too. So they're still in trouble, and oh, well, if the luck had really been against them, that would have gone in. Muggleton. The ball forward for Walsh. He couldn't get there. That's nicely played. Some inventive play from Leicester. And here's Joachim inside the Oxford penalty area. Was he wrestled to the ground? He was. The referee points to the spot. Penalty kick. Joachim taking on the defender there. He was barged to the ground according to the referee, and so Steve Thompson fires Leicester City in front. The keeper had no chance. Leicester 1, Oxford 0. This is a terrific position for Oxford. They've got to get men in here. And so from this free kick, it's Ford, and Ford scores. 1-1 now. Philpott pushing it forward to Lowe, and now Joachim, edge of that Oxford penalty area. Julian Joachim. They'll always look for the head of Walsh as Thompson fires it in. There is Walsh! Super stop by Key. The Oxford keeper reacted perfectly. Thompson as Leicester come looking for a winning goal. We're in the last minute. The keeper's in trouble. It's Walsh! Steve Walsh has won it for Leicester. Terrific finale to the game. And that's the way it goes. Leicester at the top. Oxford near the bottom. Key came, Walsh punished him.
All good things must come to an end, and Leicester's unbeaten run comes to grief at Upton Park, where the Hammers win 3-0. Chief tormentor once again, that little Spitfire, David Speedy. Millwall next in a bruising encounter.
Well, Philpott and Thompson are both hit. And it's Thompson with the right foot. The ball into the area. It will come out for Agnew. And still Agnew. Steve Agnew scores! Steve Agnew, the signing this season from Blackburn Rovers, gives Leicester City a priceless advantage. Well, Agnew hadn't scored prior to this game, following his move. he was instrumental in winning the ball on the edge of the area, and then when he got a second chance, he didn't hesitate. Beautifully struck. Agnew will intercept. He's having a good game, and he's found his man down on that touchline, and it's given Lowe the chance to get past the keeper. Brought down right on the edge of the area. That's a foot outside, I would have said, but Keller certainly penalised. And here is Leicester's free kick. Now Steve Thompson, we all know, is extremely adept in these situations, as he's proved yet again. So Keller at least survived to stay on the field. There was nothing he could do when Thompson's shot was deflected. So much joy again here for Leicester's faithful. Thompson almost hit it into the wall, but it took a deflection that completely deceived the American keeper Keller. Agnew trying to win it back. And between them, Agnew and Thompson, who win this trouble down on this touchline, and Agnew reacting violently there, along with Roberts at Millwall, and it's mayhem down on the touchline. And referee Jimmy Parker, who is not loath to send players off as a rule, might well take some action here. Those are the sort of scenes that besmirch the name of football. Dawes was in there, and it's Steve Agnew who gets the red card, much to his disbelief. And I actually think that the Millwall players are protesting on his behalf. So will Brian Little have to reorganise? Hill with this free kick. Leicester still leading by 2-0, and Lowe, the leggy David Lowe there, wriggling and trying to create space. What a good ball in! Oldfield! That's a lovely goal for Leicester. David Oldfield scores, and Leicester City lead Millwall, one of their chief rivals at the top of the division, by 3-0 now.
Leicester had successfully avenged that 2-0 defeat at the Den, and a powerful header from ace marksman Steve Walsh picked up a valuable point at Swindon. Struggling Southend were next.
So what will transpire from this Thompson free kick? It's well flighted, the keeper at full stretch, they're all over the place, and Julian Joachim has got the Leicester goal. They lead by 1-0, Julian Joachim. Thompson with the free kick, as always, posing problems. Walsh was there too. You never fancied Southend to clear it somehow. Joachim made sure they didn't. Philpott, is that too far? No, he's just able to keep it in. A telling cross, Walsh, and that's got to go down as an own goal from Edwards, I fancy, though Walsh is claiming it. Philpott got to the byline, cut it across. Now there's Walsh with the header, and then I think that went in off Edwards. Stan Collymore, a lot of clubs fancying him, that's for sure, but he loses out this time, and it enables Walsh to push it into Thompson's path, and here comes Joachim. Terrific pace. He got away from them as though they weren't there. It's his second, it's Leicester's third. Joachim's pace there, astonishing. Look at the way he leaves those two defenders in his wake and rolls it home gleefully. Philpott. It's another compelling Leicester performance, but now they've made a mistake themselves, and Collymore is here. The save made, but Brett Angel's there. Southend have one back. 3-1. Here comes that throw in, and it's long as usual, and Walsh, yes! Steve Walsh, a back header. Well, he scores them in all manner of ways, often with the head. This time it's a little back flick.
Our aim has to be to win another game, and if we do that, then we'll be obviously very pleased with that. If we get anything over and above that, then it is a massive bonus to us at the moment. You know, it's no good plotting and planning who you want to play in a playoff situation. One or two people already today have been suggesting to me, you know, look at the point situation, who you might want to play in the playoffs. That that isn't the issue. If you get to the playoffs, whoever you play, your players will be motivated. Whatever results went on in the past, they will go out the window. So I, for one, am just aiming to get there. If we get there, fine.
Well, Leicester did get there, but hardly in style. A 3-0 defeat at Peterborough, followed by a goalless draw with Bristol City, and finally a 7-1 thrashing at Newcastle, meant that the Foxes finished the season in 6th place. As it turned out, there was plenty of breathing space, Millwall's form having dipped dramatically to finish 6 points adrift. With the club looking to build for the future, Leicester would have to surrender home advantage in the playoff semi-final first leg with Portsmouth. However, the City ground Nottingham was packed as the two teams emerged for the first half of their encounter.
Smith, who takes these throws from both sides, possessor of a really good long throw. There's another one winging its way into that Portsmouth penalty area. G looking to get something on the turn here. He's got Philpott supporting him. The little chip in. Oldfield with a header just wide. The bounce for the moment beats Mills. It's all a bit of scare him in there at the moment until in the end it's Thompson who comes away. Finds Whitlow with this pass. Onto the left foot. Just over. In fact, a super save. Knight just got his fingertips to that one. It looked to be leaving him. A great strike here by the fullback, Mike Whitlow, and just touched away by Alan Knight. Whitlow hitting it forwards. Christensen with a header away. Neal. And now Orford. 26 minutes of the second half gone. Smith getting it forward. Good chase here now. Gary Mills. What sort of cross? An excellent cross coming in towards Walsh. Knotting it down. And some great goalkeeping again by Alan Knight. Whereas Portsmouth made the better chances in the first half, there's no doubt that Leicester are making the better ones in the second. Walsh's header grabbed there by Knight. Oh, McLaughlin. Will this bounce well for him? Not well enough, but the back heel couldn't be picked up by Price. It gives Leicester the chance to break forward again. Grayson getting it forward towards Joachim. Again he's turned Simons well, and suddenly Portsmouth are in trouble again as Joachim goes through. A fabulous finish for Leicester. They kept him on the bench until deep into the second half, but what a difference he's made. He's been attacking the Portsmouth defence, frightening them all around, and suddenly his face there. And the shot that beats Knight, that puts Leicester ahead. McQuinn.
Frightening pace, absolutely frightening pace. He's given them 5 yards and gone past them. He's just choke-poked it underneath Alan Knight, and well, the lad has made a hell of a difference.
Well, Brian Little, a 1-0 lead going to Portsmouth. Are you satisfied with that?
Well, obviously it would be nice to add a couple more, but I think on the balance of play, we'd be pleased with that. I think the way the game was going, it looked as if it was going to be 0-0, or I suppose both sides at times threatened to get the one, and either side could have won the game 1-0. Yeah, we're reasonably pleased because, especially after last week where we've played a game and nobody wants to lose 7, the tactics today made it difficult for us. And it was a close game, and I think both teams will feel on the balance of today's game that they still have a chance.
Whittingham. Just imagine how demoralising defeat would be for Portsmouth here when you consider, of course, they missed automatic promotion by a single goal. They're playing Leicester City here, who finished 12 points behind them in the first division. Whittingham going forward, he almost got it through to Daniel. Now, what sort of cross can Daniel put in here? It's a good long one there towards McLaughlin! And Portsmouth have got that vital breakthrough with a goal by Alan McLaughlin, his 12th of the season. Good work down the left again by Ray Daniel. A long cross knocked in there. George Lawrence played his part as well, and McLaughlin finished it off, and it's level on aggregate now. Now that really does set it up. Little chip in there by Thompson. And Oldfield, and it's gone in. And Leicester have made it 1-1. Agnew probably with the finishing touch. Oldfield with the first effort though. And the Pompey fans are silenced there. Knight came out, Oldfield shot, and flicked in the end, in fact by Ormondroyd. And Leicester City are level. Here's Thompson. Joachim alongside him. Still with Thompson. It's a great goal. And that might well settle it. Steve Thompson, his 11th of the season, brings joy to the Leicester City fans and could well wrap up this whole playoff situation here at Portsmouth. Great shots after a fine run. And Thompson puts Leicester City 2-1 up. It's with Alford now for Portsmouth. Neil. Whittingham. Christensen. Oh, that's a good shot! A wonderful goal! Johan Christensen has put Portsmouth right back in it with a super goal. Making it 2-2. And maybe the door has been pushed open a fraction now.
(2-2) on the night. Julian Joachim's first leg goal proving to be decisive. Brian Little and his players knew they had reached Wembley, but the job was still only half done. Wembley Stadium, the scene of Leicester tears and heartache only 1 year earlier. As the players arrived, they had dreams of a Premier League place, unaware of the drama that lay ahead.
It's certainly an achievement to get here, but last year we were satisfied with that achievement, I feel. This year we'd be very disappointed if we didn't win the game.
Obviously a bit of disappointment last year for the club. Do you think this year that extra determination to make it?
Yeah, like a lot of the lads have been there from last year and they know what they expect, and I think we've got a great chance today.
Certainly the Leicester team was in optimistic mood as they lined up with Swindon for the national anthem. Surely fate could not deal them a crueler hand than in the previous season when David Speedie earned Blackburn a questionable penalty that proved decisive. And they say, lightning never strikes twice.
McLaren. Maskell. Turned into trouble. Thompson takes it off him, and now Philpott. McLaren struggling to keep up with him. Make sure, why don't you? Nicky Summerby thumped that one over the line.
He did a good job there, McLaren, trying to stay with Philpott, giving Summerby a chance to get round and put that ball into touch, but Richard Smith will sling it into that 6-yard box again.
5 minutes to half-time, 0-0. In it goes towards Walsh, who got the touch to Joachim, and Oldfield arrives. Ooh, he almost squeezed that one in between the goalkeeper's right hand and the post. Good save by Fraser Digby. Leicester still in possession. Goal kick.
Leicester certainly come more into the game. Here you see that throw, Richard Smith. It is a weapon that Leicester have used effectively all season. Walsh's presence causing confusion. Oldfield taking it off Joachim, and that shot on the turn which Digby just covers at the near post. But once again, Leicester beginning to power into the game a little bit and pushing Swindon back.
Hoddle. Ling. Now Moncur. They've gone from left to right flank. Summerby whips it into Maskell. Well played. Hoddle. Good ball for Bodin. Mitchell makes the run towards the penalty spot, but it goes in along the ground, and it still comes to Mitchell. And now to Ling, and back to Mitchell. Couldn't blunder his way through those three defenders, though. Oldfield just misses out. Taylor intercepts. On it goes to Maskell, he's onside. He has Mitchell in the box, otherwise it's full of Leicester defenders. So he goes outside the box to Moncur. Good run by him, and now Maskell! And it goes high towards Taylor. Walsh got there ahead of him, though. Moncur plays it back in again, and no offside! And Taylor has scored! And that surely means it's the Premier League for Swindon Town now! This is Mills. Oldfield's made a good run up front. He finds Jochin, challenged by McLaren. Now Thompson. Whitlow has Philpott hugging the left touchline. And Oldfield gets it back to him. That's a good ball. Philpott's cross is an excellent one. Walsh is there! And Jochin buries the rebound! Leicester have a moment of hope.
Superb deep cross, ideal for Walsh. Back across the goal, hit the post, and Joachim reacts first. And Jimmy Greaves was talking about lack of efforts at goal. Well, we've had 4 goals already, and I think there's more to come, Alan.
This will be another howitzer from Smith. No, it wasn't, because before he could get there to take it, it was taken. Philpott. Agnew. Hoddle takes it from him, but it's only as far as Mills. And still Mills, and still. And he curls it beautifully over to the far post. Philpott turning it back in again. Walsh goes up to the keeper, and it's in! It's 3-2! Incredible! The defender turned goal scorer gets goal number 16 of the season. They wouldn't give it up, Leicester. Well, what a wonderful game of football this is. Here's Bodin. Moncur. Taken away from him by Whitlow. Now Walsh, what a hero he's been. A part in both the goals, scored the second, of course. Whitlow drives forward now. He's got Joachim and looks for Thompson. And Thompson has equalised! It's unbelievable stuff now! You can't pause for breath.
Marvellous play by Steve Thompson. Calm finish once again, taking the leaf out the Hoddle book, and Maskell. A placement finish, terrific break by Whitlow. Clever ball, back behind everyone. And Thompson appears first. Ling can't get there. Great finish. Great game.
Moncur. Hoddle. Knocks it long for White, and White steals in and goes down, and it's a penalty. The referee has given a penalty for a foul on the substitute. 7 minutes to go. Street.
Well, there was once again an incredible pass, beautifully flighted. I do feel that Kevin Poole should be more alert to that ball played through, should be a little bit closer to the edge of his box there. Steve White nudged it past. It was definitely obstructed, but how many referees give obstruction an indirect free kick in that situation? It's a penalty, it's all or nothing. And Bodin, quite a sure shot, will have the opportunity here to put Swindon back in the driving seat.
A year ago, Leicester conceded a controversial penalty against Blackburn Rovers, which cost them a place in the Premier League. Is history about to repeat itself? Paul Bodin from the spot for Swindon. He scored! To go. Bodin restores Swindon's lead. Swindon 4, Leicester 3.
It would go down as one of the greatest games ever seen at Wembley, but in the end, Leicester's spirited fight back counted for nothing. It would be Swindon who would play in the Premier League. Defeat was an even harder pill to swallow. The players shattered both emotionally and physically. Hopefully, they could avoid the playoffs next year.
Well, now I think we'll have to go for the automatic route. The other one doesn't seem to suit us quite as well as I should have liked. You know, last year, well, we'd done very well to get there. This time, we needed to win, really. And having got back to 3 each after being 3-0 down, you have to say we'd given ourselves a chance. And we get another blooming penalty.
The few of the lads are disappointed with the decision. They don't think it was a penalty, but I've not seen it, to be fair. And I'll have a look at it on the television. But at the end of the day, the referee's given it. You've got to take the decision. And fair play to Swindon. We put them under pressure, and they've handled the pressure well.
Great credit to you for coming back from 3-0 down. Can you come back again next year?
Yeah, I think we can. We've had a great season this season, and we've got to go in with confidence at the beginning of the season, and hopefully get some great results to, hopefully this time, get promoted straight off.
Season 1993-94 then promises much for Leicester City. Filbert Street being renovated to meet the requirements of the Taylor Report. On the field, the emergence of youngsters like Julian Joachim is very encouraging. And with manager Brian Little at the helm, the supporters know that the club will stop at nothing to reach its Premier League goal.